Well, hello, everyone. The day we have all been waiting for is pretty much here. That's right, opening day.
That's right. The Yankees will start the season finally tomorrow, March 26th at 1 o'clock against the Baltimore Orioles.
Let's talk about the 25 guys that the Yankees have decided to take back to the Bronx with them. Let's talk about the final roster for opening day. And let's actually talk about the game, too. But
Yeah,
before
that'd
we
be
get
nice.
into
Finally, a game to talk
finally a
about.
real game that actually matters. That's right. So my name is Greg Andriano. I hope you like
And
the
I'm Brian
haircut.
McCormick.
Greg Andriano05 on Twitter.
And I'm at Yankee Chatter 1 on Twitter. If you care
All right.
to follow.
Well, please do. So Yankees will start the season at home against the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Baltimore was supposed to start Alex Cobb, but actually he was scratched, I think, yesterday due to a strained right groin that he suffered during his last spring start. And he will be going up against Yankee starter. Brad, you want to take the honors here?
Yeah, Masahiro Tanaka gets the start after Severino was hurt early in spring training. I'm not sure. I believe Tanaka started 1 or 2 opening days before, but it's been a couple years since Severino took the reins as the ace over. So Tanaka gets the nod tomorrow, and he's going to be excited about it. He's a big game kind of guy.
That's right. He's a professional. He knows what's at stake here. He has done this before. I actually think, Brad, this is his 4th opening.
Is it number
day.
4? Okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that.
3,
I feel like I've read that somewhere. But yeah. So if you're in the area, Brad, you should take this one.
I should, because I'm in the area. The area.
I'm not. You are.
So you can listen to it on locally in the Albany Capital District area. You got 104.5, the team on the radio. It's the home of Yankees sports, and on TV, of course, the YES Network that we're so spoiled to be able to see every single Yankee game on. And what about you guys down there in Florida?
Well, I'm a little bit out of market, so I'm stuck watching it on the MLB TV app. Actually, it's one of the best investments I've ever made. I've had it for about 6 years now. It's fantastic. I get to watch every Yankees game that's out of market from here. So pretty much when they play the Rays and the Marlins, I don't get to watch unless I know someone that has cable. I don't pay for cable. That's ridiculous. But if you don't have MLB TV, you can tune in on ESPN. But why would you want to do that? That station sucks.
I can't stand it. No, as far as baseball is concerned, ESPN is just a non-entity. It's just.
It's true, unfortunately.
Didn't they cancel baseball tonight? I believe they canceled baseball tonight this year.
They did, which is disappointing because that's probably the best show that they have. But with TV stations like MLB Network emerging and being pretty successful.
As far as analysts are concerned and people talk about the game, MLB Network is so far ahead of them anyway. So switch over to there if you have that ability.
Yep, but like I said, I watch on MLB TV. The only downside to that, other than the blackouts, is I don't get to watch the pregame or the postgame show. They actually cut those off.
Now, whose broadcast do you get? What teams? The Yankees or?
I get to pick.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So any regular season game, I get to pick between the Yankees feed or whoever they're playing. Obviously, I'll pick the Yankees feed. In spring training, you don't get to pick. Usually, you have to listen to or watch the home team feed, which is terrible because, we're spoiled because the YES Network has such great color commentators, and maybe I'm biased, but sitting there listening to the Tigers or the Orioles or the Blue Jays or whoever else they play in spring training it's painful.
Sometimes it's pretty brutal. But I guess when you're in those markets and you really have no optimism even going to opening day, it's I don't know, it's kind of tough to get up for the game.
Well, the other day I was driving back from a work meeting out in Jacksonville, and I got to listen to the Yankees play the Cardinals on the radio, which was nice until I started listening to the Cardinals feed, and it was boring.
Really, the Cardinals were bad too, huh?
Yeah, I had to actually turn it off.
Wow.
Jacksonville's like a 2.5 hour drive for me, so it was starting to put me to sleep. which wasn't good because I was driving my boss's car. Don't tell him I said that.
I listened to the game yesterday, and they were playing the Nationals, and
Yeah.
Washington had a pretty good team. I will say.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the broadcast a lot.
There are some out there, and sometimes I'll watch a game when, like, if the Yankees have an off day or if they played a day game, I'll check into another team's game and listen to them. And the Nationals are pretty good. I think the Indians are pretty good. It's always good to have like an upbeat, high energy guy in the booth. So anyway, with that said, let's get into the opening day roster here.
Let's get into what we're actually going to be watching tomorrow.
Yes. I'll have it probably on at my desk on my second monitor while I'm plugging away on Reddit. So the starting rotation, as we already mentioned, Masahiro Tanaka gets the opening day nod. And to fill it out, you got James Paxton, J. Happ, Domingo Germán, and CC Sabathia for the starting rotation.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, you get the loaded bullpen that everyone's talking about. That's going to include, obviously, Chapman for the ninth inning. Then before him, you're going to have Britton. You're going to have Ottavino, Chad Green, Jonathan Holder, Tommy Kahnle, who I'm happy made the team, Stephen Tarpley, and rounding out, Luis Cessa is once again going to start the year with the big league club.
Yep. Headed into the infield, you got Greg Bird, Luke Voigt, Gleyber Torres, Troy Tulowitzki, Miguel Andujar, and DJ LeMahieu.
All right, and in the outfield, just going to keep this going here. We got Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner, Giancarlo Stanton, and Mike Tauchman. Tookman. I'm sorry. I should have looked at your little pronunciation there.
I put it on there because I didn't know how to pronounce it. I got that from MLB reference or baseballreference.com. They have the little pronunciation underneath.
So Mike Tookman is that last guy. And then remember that Aaron Hicks is obviously on the team. He's just starting the season on the IL.
Mm-hmm. Same
we'll get to that later.
Yep, same with Dylan Betances. Catchers, you got Gary Sanchez, and Austin Romine will back him up.
Yeah, no real surprise there. And then as I just kind of mentioned, some notable injuries. Luis Severino's on the DL. Aaron Hicks, Didi Gregorius, Dylan Betances, Jordan Montgomery, and obviously Jacoby Ellsbury, because he's just a 9-year-old man and trapped in the.
He is the Tony Romo of the Major League Baseball.
Yeah, now he's shut down again because of a hip issue now, or something stupid. It's just
get that man a walker or something. But just to go back over the injuries real quick, we know Severino's out till May. Hicks and Betances are day to day. They're going to start. I mentioned CC Sabathia made the rotation. He's going to be there for the first 5 games, from what I understand, and to serve his 5-game suspension that he got at the end of the season for saying that's for you to the Rays. And then I believe they're going to call up Loaizaga to take his roster spot until he's ready to go, because we haven't seen Sabathia all spring. He hasn't made a spring start. He hasn't done much.
He's going to need some time.
Mm-hmm. Gregorius is out till at least after the All-Star break. Montgomery, same. He's recovering from Tommy John surgery. And Severino's out till May. So not in the grand scheme of things, not too bad with the injuries. Got a couple guys that not on the opening day roster, but like we've said in past episodes, it's better that they're missing time now than later on in the season.
As long as doesn't turn into something more than we think it is. Like
exactly.
The Severino situation just still scares me, and Hicks kind of scares me now because when it first happened, Aaron Boone said if this happened during the season, he probably would have just played through it. But now we're getting reports that he still hasn't started baseball activities. So it's a little concerning to me.
I agree. He's gotten 2 cortisone shots already. Yeah. And they say he's feeling good, but like you said, they pulled him off baseball activities. So, yeah. And then you can see why they went out and made the little trade that they made. But we'll talk about that in a second. So any notable players at first glance, Brad, that stand out to you on this opening day roster?
Well, the first thing I think is the most obvious that everyone was watching spring training for the whole first base competition, and I think I'm really – I know it's because of injuries, but I want to say I'm really happy that both these guys made the team, Voigt and Bird, because I think they really both deserved it. So I'm really happy that they're both on the opening day roster. Although, like I said, it's more because of the Hicks injury than anything. It'll be interesting to see when Hicks comes back, what they do with Tillman and then with the two first basemen. We'll see how that works out. And then as far as anyone else making the team, I'm really happy for Canely making a comeback this year. Tarpley had a great spring. Not too good his last time out. He did not do well in his start against Nationals. Finally gave up an earned run, which is his first time all spring. The only thing I was a little surprised that Sessa was starting the year in the bullpen. I thought he pitched good enough in the spring to earn a spot in the rotation. Mm-hmm. That's the only question I had there.
And I was kind of surprised about the whole CC Sabathia and maybe bringing up Loaizaga to take his spot. I kind of thought that maybe Sessa should slide into Sabathia's rotation spot and they bring up someone else to do long relief out of the bullpen. But, again, this is just to start the season off. This is nothing permanent.
And that's true, too, because of the day off in between the first two games, I think you actually only need to start the season with 4 starters. So maybe they wanted Sessa for some reason they wanted Loaizaga to get some innings in down there before they brought him up. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Well, it's still spring training down there for the minor leaguers, so
they still get action.
They're getting in innings, and that's probably good for him because he needs to keep, stay on his rotation day and get his innings in and stay on his routine. But
so what do you think about it?
For me, no surprises. I mean, pretty much going into spring training, we got what we expected. They really didn't beat around the bush here when they said, "Oh, we're not going after Machado, we're not going after Harper, we're not going after this guy and that guy." It's pretty much they weren't joking, which is kind of disappointing. You kind of hope in the back of your mind that they were, but they weren't. The big surprise for me was trading for Tokman. Last minute. But we'll get into that in a minute. I'm with you. I'm happy for Canely. He's apparently he's in much better shape. He stopped drinking 5 Red Bulls a day, which is insane. I don't know how he's still alive.
Right. I don't know how he stayed out of the ER.
But to me, those are big things. If you get a healthy Canely, a productive Canely like you had when they traded for him, then that's just another really good piece in the bullpen. I'm happy for Stephen Tarpley. He got a little hiccup there the other day because he's pitching in a big league park. He's actually was the opener for that game, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get to watch it.
He did open. He did not.
So that's something different for him, taking him out of his routine, coming in later in the game. So maybe there's some extenuating circumstances that contributed to him not pitching as effectively. I guess the weather was a little bit different than down here in Florida. A lot of considerations to take into effect there. But overall, I'm with you. Everything looks good. And I'm glad both Bird and Voit made the team.
Yeah.
Nothing really got resolved. One who's better, who deserved it more than the other. They both had really good springs. They both deserve to be on the team. And eventually we're going to find out which guy is going to be there in the end. One of these guys is going to start to struggle.
It's like watching a movie and trying to wait to the end, and you get a little to be continued at the end of the movie or at the end of this episode.
But this is a good thing for the Yankees because now they get to look at them even longer. And you're getting Greg Bird, who pretty much came into spring training as he's not going to make the team. He needs to be down in AAA, and he proved himself that he could be there. And Voit has so far, and at least in spring training, proved that he's no fluke. So you got two guys pushing each other. It's going to be exciting to watch for sure. So
let's move on to the snubs.
Yep. Big snubberoonies there, Brad.
I think Clint Frazier to make the team. I don't think it's a snub. I think he just seriously disappointed the Yankees in spring training. And you look at that plus the Hicks injury, and you start to really wonder why all these Yankee fans on Twitter are saying, why aren't we going after Harper? They were saying we have 6 outfielders, but when 3 of them are hurt, if you include Ellsbury, and then one of them Stanton, who's I guess you could say frail when he has to play the outfield a lot. That just goes to show the Yankees might have needed an outfielder, and it would have been nice to have him. But I
was going to say maybe not to the extent of Harper, but maybe like someone like Adam Jones or someone who's a veteran who's can produce and can be out there and not break the bank.
You say that, but everyone else on Twitter is
Well,
They're
yeah.
going with the Ixon Harper.
but see, that's the difference between you and I and Twitter is like drama, and we're like, well, let's think about that for a second.
Take a step back, pump the brakes, think it through. So I guess the only snub really that we can probably both agree on is Tyler Wade. I've never been sold on him just because I remember last year he tore up in spring, made the big league squad, and it was awful. So I had my reservations about it happening this year. So the fact that he got sent down to the minors, I will say it's a snub because of how he performed in the spring and how well he did. And the fact that he's worked really hard in the outfield. He's played outfield now for a couple of years, and they basically told him he's not a good enough outfielder. So they went out and got someone else. But I understand the move. I understand that they want an outfielder that can play all three positions and has a little more experience doing that. So I get it, but I still would put it under a category of a snub.
Yep, I'm with you. I got a lot of crap for this on Twitter from some guy who,
no surprise there,
who wanted to throw sabermetrics on things that Tyler Wade did last year and the year before at me. And I'm more about like, well, what's he doing right now? He played his heart out in spring. He did really well. He did everything that the Yankees asked of him this spring. And he hit for average. He got on base. He stole some bases. He played defense. He moved to the outfield when a couple guys went down with injuries and played pretty well for someone who doesn't regularly play in outfield. You know, to me, he earned at least an extended look until Hicks comes back. You can always make moves later in the season and get someone more formidable in there if Wade doesn't pan out. But I feel like he at least earned a little bit more time with the big league club, and he just didn't get it. They made this trade for Tuchman, and now, which again, I'm with you. I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
You know, Tyler Wade's a natural shortstop. He's not an outfielder, so they got a guy that can play, has had experience in all three outfield positions, and he's going to start the season with the team. I don't know what to expect from this guy. He raked in AAA. He had some really good numbers, but he hasn't really put it together in the big leagues yet. So you could look at him.
He had a pretty bad spring too.
Yes. So you could look at him like a 2019 version of Luke Voit, where the Yankees brought him in. He wasn't doing too well with the Cardinals in the major leagues. He was raking in AAA. And so they're going to take a chance on this guy who now apparently Cashman and Boone are saying could have a future with the Yankees in some capacity. And so what remains to be seen.
Well, I mean, they have to say it about every player. They're not going to say we brought this guy in just for a little Band-Aid, and we don't really know if he can hang with us going forward. But we'll see. It's a crowded outfield. We'll see what he's going to get in the game at some point. We'll see what he can add. And I think we both agree that Wade's going to be up with the Major League Club at some point this year as well.
He will. When you got guys that are injury prone like Troy Tulowitzki and Torres got hurt last year, and Wade is the next guy on the totem pole. So if one of those guys goes down, or if another one of these outfielders goes down, you have the depth, and that depth is going to be him. So we'll see him, and we'll see him probably often this year.
I think so.
Considering how injury prone everybody is, it does. You want to root for the guy. You want him to be there with the team because he did so well. But it is what it is. It's a business. It's a game, and the Yankees are just trying to put the best product on the field. So
one more thing I want to add: do you realize that the Yankees are starting with 6 completely different infielders than they did last year?
I saw that tweet. I forgot who put that up. Maybe it was Brian Hawk or someone. I don't know. But I saw it. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I don't know if that's ever happened, especially for a team that won 100 games last year.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty incredible.
That's something kind of a cool fact, and hopefully it works out for them.
Well, they're already upgraded at second and third.
Yep, that's for sure. And then you got
first maybe.
Yep, you got hopefully the platoon stats between Bird and Voit, if that's how it ends up being this year, add up to a very productive first baseman, which is something the Yankees have lacked a lot of in the last few years due to injuries. And then you got LeMahieu, who's going to be your everyman.
Well, do you think? Here's my question: do you think the Boone trying to get LeMahieu into the lineup to get him at bats is going to kind of jumble everything up and make it kind of?
I think it might. He's
a cluster.
He's basically this year's Neil Walker. I mean, he's better than Neil Walker, but this is a big deal for LeMahieu. He's coming over to a new league, pitchers he hasn't really faced. He's got all these adjustments to make. He's used to playing every single day in Colorado, just like Neil Walker was when he Granted, Neil Walker signed late last year, but the same thing. He's coming over to a new team. He's not playing every day. It's going to be a big adjustment for LeMahieu, and I have a feeling he's going to struggle with it at first, and then you're going to see all the critics coming in. Well, could have signed Machado instead of LeMahieu, but guys got to be patient. LeMahieu's a professional hitter. He's 2 years removed from winning a batting title. He's going to be just fine.
He kind of signed with the Yankees without having a real position because they're kind of full. But you have to figure that Cashman had some kind of discussions with him. Like, I don't think that Tulowitzki is ever going to play 2 games in a row, and he's definitely never going to play 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. You're also going to have then given Andujar days off. You're going to have given Torres days off. You're going to have defensive replacements for Andujar later in games. Mm-hmm. Some days at DH. So I think there'll be opportunities.
Yeah, he's gonna.
When you look on paper,
play.
It looks a little crowded.
Yeah, he's gonna play. Like you said, everyone's gonna get days off, and I think that's smart to an extent. I wasn't quite on board with giving guys regular days off when a few years ago when they started doing this all the time, because I like seeing the guys especially who are on hot streaks. They get benched for the day or given the day off.
I can't stand that.
I don't like that. Girardi used to do that all the time, and it used to drive me crazy. But you're trying to keep these guys fresh all season. Now they work out all the time, so you would think that their bodies could handle it, but apparently not. So anyway, speaking of the best product on the field, let's talk about tomorrow's projected opening day lineup. What do you think Boone's going to roll out 1 through 9 and positions?
All right. Well, there's a couple of things that could be mixed around, but I'll just give you it. So I think leading off will be Gardner in center field. They're going to have Judge second and right. They're going to have Stanton bat third and left. I have Luke Voit as the cleanup hitter, as a designated hitter, because we saw that a lot this spring. Sanchez batting fifth and catcher. Andujar sixth at third. Bird batting seventh at first base. Tulo eighth at shortstop. And then I have Torres batting ninth at playing second. And I think that's just because they like Torres in the ninth spot. He deserves to be a lot higher, but for some reason he's like putting him there.
Look at him like a second leadoff man, having
and that's
him bat.
What it is.
But I want you to, if you can see it.
Can you see it? My first 5 were the same as yours.
Yes, I do, but you just have Torres up higher. Okay.
I moved Torres up, Andujar, Bird, and Tulowitzki. Same positions, though. So
yeah, I think we can all agree
we're on the same page here. So just go ahead.
I could have easily switched Voit and Andujar. I think Andujar is more than capable of being a number 4 hitter. You could even put Stanton as number 4, but Andujar third or Torres third. There's a lot of things they could do, but I think that's the lineup he'll go with. Because that's what we saw last year.
Yep, and I think potentially maybe if Torres proves to be a guy like he was when he first came up last season, he could be someone that bats and then 2-hole and then shift Judge and Stanton down. Or if Bird gets hot, you can see him splitting up some of these right-handed hitters. But yeah, Gardner, Judge, Stanton, Voit, Sanchez, Torres, Andujar, Bird. The bottom 4 you could probably interchange. I would imagine until Tulo proves he can play and hit and come back, he's going to be at the bottom of the lineup, which
he's not going to be any higher than 8th, which is fine.
It's fine, and I think he's fine with it too because he's just happy to be there.
If you have a Tulowitzki that's even 75% of what he used to be, batting 8th or 9th in your lineup, that's pretty good. I'd sign up for that.
That's a deep lineup, my friend.
It is. It's got to be one of the deepest in the league.
It reminds me of the '98 Yankees when 1 through 9, everyone was just
different kind of lineup, a lot more contact hitters, but yeah.
Well, I'm really hoping that because how Judge tinkered his stance, so he's not doing the stride, and he's trying to cut down the strikeouts, which I love because there's some of these power hitters who's just like, well, I hit home runs and that's all I'm going to do.
That's what I get paid to do, yeah.
Yeah, but I love the fact that Judge is consciously trying to cut down on the strikeouts, and I think you're going to see a completely different Aaron Judge this year. Hopefully, Giancarlo follows suit. But I would love as a whole for the Yankees to cut down on the strikeouts because I'm sick and tired of people saying the Yankees strike out too much.
But every team strikes out that much. The Houston Astros strike out just as much.
It's the new thing.
But that is how I think you really measure how great of a player a guy can become is when you're already as good as Judge is, and he's still trying to change things in his stance to be even better.
Yep.
You don't see that from every player out there.
Look at the best player in the game right now. Who would you say that is?
Mike Trout.
And what kind of hitter is he? He's the kind of hitter that tries to hit to all fields, that will make adjustments in the game to and go opposite field if he has to, or pull the ball, or he looks where the players are standing for him. He's probably one of the few guys where they don't shift on him. They play him straight up. And I would love to see Judge become something like that, where they don't shift on him. Not that they really do, but it's trending, like starting to shift on him. And I love when guys hit to all fields. Me, myself, I was always an opposite field hitter, just because I was always late on the pitch, so I always ended up hitting the ball.
I was sick because you're always late on the pitch, yeah.
Yeah, but I at least, get guys moving around. And that's what I love to see the Yankees do that. And they have guys that do that 1 through 9. Sanchez is capable of going the opposite way. Bird is capable of avoiding. We've talked about this before. And that's one of the things I hope the Yankees, if they play to their potential, become shift killers.
That would be nice. That would be a huge advantage. That's an advantage of having a lot of right-handed hitters, but having right-handed hitters that can go the opposite way is just huge plus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an advantage you'll have over almost any team that they play.
Absolutely. So this is some exciting stuff, Brad. Like we said, the Yankees play tomorrow at 1:05 against the Baltimore Orioles. It's opening day. This is exciting. The season's finally here. We've been waiting for how long, and it's now upon us.
And I hope they win tomorrow. I think it's actually been a while since the Yankees won an opening day. So let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope. I will say I'm not sure what the weather's gonna be like in New York City next tomorrow. I know back up here in Albany, this end of the week, going into the weekend, is supposed to be really nice, which is lucky for the Yankees because the weather is always a factor in April, and 15 out of the first 18 games are at home, and the other 3 of those games are in Baltimore. So it's not like they're going to anywhere as warm until they go to Houston.
I never get that. I never got why they do that.
When we were kids, they always started out on the West Coast, and it was a perfect situation, but not this year. So let's hope that the weather stays nice for these guys, that they don't get shocked when they come up here from. Well, I know they made a pit stop from Washington, but they still get shocked from what they were dealing with in Florida.
I agree. So with that said, tune in more during the season. We're going to try and do this when we can, and we'll give you updates on the team as the season progresses, and hopefully we have a lot of interesting things to talk about. Thank you for watching episode 17. That's right. This episode is number 17.
This one's 17. And it's 5 and 5. And
math is hard, guys.
You got to go to your third hand, fourth hand. It's kind of tough.
But no, please disregard anything in the past 2 episodes where we say the episode number. We made some mistakes there. We miscounted. But this is actually episode number 17. So thank you. Let's have an exciting season. Join in the conversation. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Brad, you want to talk about some of the social networks?
Why not? Basically, just search Yankee Twitter anywhere, and we're there. So like you said, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Search Yankee Chatter. My colleague here, Greg, has done a lot of hard work, and he's got us on YouTube, YouTunes, Spotify, and Google Play now. So there's really no excuse for you guys to not listen to the show, other than you guys don't like it. And if you don't like it, I'd still rather you just listen and tell us how bad we are, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, but we'll take the criticism, guys, and we'll make this better. That's
right. And I'd like to hear criticism from more people than just my wife once in a while. So, so search us on all. Look for us on all the platforms you can imagine, and we'll be there.
Mm-hmm. We're out there, and we're ready. We're ready for you to believe us. But no, serious. Other than the Ghostbusters reference, no. Let's have a good season. And talk to us. We want to get this thing going and do this right. We're going to try and do some more short videos here and there during the season without it being tied to an episode, just so you can see our smiling faces some more. If you like our smiling faces.
It's more creepy than anything.
Yeah. Well, they won't look like that. But also check out the website. Everything's all in one place. I just released an article the other day, pretty much talking about what we talked about today. I haven't really publicized it, so because I wanted to do this first. But it's on there. We talk about this more. And most importantly, go Yankees. Let's bring home number 28.
We can argue all day long on Twitter, but at the end, we're all Yankee fans. We all want number 28, and let's do it. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. So, gotta support the team. Gotta let them know you're out there.
All right. Well, tune in next time. We'll probably be talking about a recent game, and that's about that.
What's your name?
I guess if you really want to know my name, Brad McCormick here, Brad Chatter one on Twitter.
And
Get you there.
Greg Andriano at GregAndriano05 on Twitter. Tune in next time, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Go Yanks.
I think that went well.
Went very well.
And I'm glad we're doing the projections separately.